Single target arena, baby. And we're doing it. Yes, it is time to push. We have to start pushing, right? And to do that, you got to get into Overlord first. That's the only way to get these 10 Apex coins. And I only got 9,400 right now, but we need to start grinding them. The longer I wait to push for Lady Alexandra, the harder it's going to be to keep up, right? She is kind of crazy. I even see her in some of these single target teams. It's nasty. So we need to start pushing for Lady Alexandra. And Watch Guards in single target has evolved, baby. So I'll show you a few fights on my way to Overlord. And this is the team that I used to get here. Watch Guards, Omni's Arena. Let's go. So I do have it set up for auto, but round 3 to 4, I'm going to take over manually anyway. And I'll show you how to set that up, or I'm going to reset it up because I was making a whole video about this and everything else, but I saw Shadow the First. He put out a video, right? And his setup is actually better than mine. And it's fine. That's okay. Tears. But anywho, the sequence really is Sun Wukong, then I usually just wait and then I'll place down Kagiri. I got Sun Wukong and Kagiri out, then we place down Dao Chan, and next we're waiting to get out Ingrid. So right here, like around round 4, we can normally get Ingrid out right before round 5 starts. That way I got Ingrid out, and then we also have Dao Chan. And if you're doing it manually, you can play around with Dao Chan to keep your DPS units alive, right? Like Sun Wukong and Kagiri. Keep them alive with Dao Chan until you get your Eloin out. But I like to do it this way. I like to get Ingrid out faster because then I have more DPS and I kind of just melt through these enemies that's coming out of the portal, right? This is how I normally set it up. In the next one, I'll do it manually all together. I'll walk through from start to finish, and then after that fight, we'll go in and we'll set up the auto battle in actual single target arena, the edit mode, which I didn't know about, and I didn't know about that until after I watched Shadow's video, and I was like, what? Wait, we could just set it up manually ourselves? I don't have to go in here and like do like an actual fight to set it up? But this is a Valderon team, and what do they have? They have Sun Wukong and Ardea. So that team is kind of nuts. Ardea, Valderon, Sun Wukong. If you see Valderon, it's kind of like, fuck bro, I'm gonna run. But this team can actually keep up with them. You lose in the beginning, but you make it up in the end because you can just put out so much more DPS with A3 Kagiri. Now, that is important, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you have A0 Kagiri, it's going to be rough. A1, all that little stuff, he's probably just going to die. You're not going to do enough damage to kill these mobs fast enough before they stack up on you. Because after round 5, right, you have these the aura monsters that's come out, and they do so much damage. If they stack on Kagiri's melted. Boom. You can't have more than 2 at once on Kagiri, or he's just gonna go down like a wet noodle, right? Because in last season I actually used a similar team with Kagiri has the tank, right, and then Sun Wukong was like off to the side, if you guys remember that season setup. But in this season, when it started, I tried it again, and my Kagiri was A0, no awakens, nothing, and he was just poof, out of the way, move. But now A3 Kagiri, baby, can do some damage. He can at least do enough damage to keep the monsters from stacking up. And I zoomed in here because look, see, he has 2 people stacked up on him, and they can't do enough damage in time to eliminate those monsters fast enough. Because if you're using Kagiri and Sun Wukong, as they come out of the portal and they approach, Ingrid starts lighting them up. Boom, eliminated by the time 2 can stack up on Kagiri, right? That's the plan. If you can't keep that from happening, then it doesn't matter. All right, next fight. But however, since I did have A0 Kagiri at that time, I was using Talin as the tank, right? So when you first come in, you're going to place down Sun Wukong. That's what we're waiting for. Sun Wukong is going to go down first. I'd like to place him 1 tile from the back, right? So right here in the middle, we'll face him forward. Boom. Got him down. Look at that. Valderons already destroyed that goddamn monster, dude. That's crazy. They're so strong. Like that ability that he has, I guess. It's crazy. So in the first round, you're just gonna eat that loss, right? We're hopefully we're aiming to get at least close to like 70, 72. Anything above 70 is actually really good if you can keep the damage down that way, right? It just really depends. on how strong your Sun Wukong is. Now, I like to wait for Kagiri to come out before I place down anything else. But on second round, once that monster approaches, boom, light him up. Sun Wukong takes him down. We're gravy. Now we got Kagiri out for round 3. We can get him out comfortably. Dao Chan can go out. Dao Chan, if you're doing it manually, you can keep her in her healing mode, right? And you can just let her heal Kagiri so that way he doesn't die if you're having trouble with him dying all the time, right? We'll just take that win. You don't have to use Sun Wukong's ult. You can if you need to keep some of that pressure off, right? But I like to just save it for round 4 for that last enemy that comes out, right? So here we go. Boom, Kagiri goes off, and then Sun Wukong, when there's one enemy left, we use his ult, and that's round 4. Round 5, we can get Ingrid out right at the start of round 5. At the end of round 4, we got Ingrid. I place her right here in front of Kagiri. However, this is where it differs in Shadow's video, right? He places Ingrid up even more, and I think that's actually better since she can start attacking even earlier, right? So right here, round 5, we can get Eloin out. Now we can place her down, and she'll just keep everybody healed. Eloin's placement will also differ once I set it up in the edit mode, right? But I guess as long as you have Ingrid out by wave 5, I guess it doesn't matter, you know, too much on placement. So this is our completed team. We have everybody set down, and now we're just making sure our ult timings are on point. We're saving Sun Wukong's ult mainly for like the last enemy that comes out, and Kagiri, you can use him whenever you feel he's in danger. Honestly, if his health is going down or he's getting stacked on, use his ult. He doesn't take any damage, and he can do at least a lot of damage, right? You have Eloin's Wood Elf. You can place that down in the corner. That way it doesn't take down Sun Wukong's clones or anything like that. Pop Eloin's ult if you need it when you think Kagiri's gonna die. But this is just so much DPS that we can just take these monsters out one by one, single file line. The ants be marching one by one, hurrah! And we just take them out. Boom! Got him. So this team can compete with Valderon teams, Ardeas, Sargat teams up in there, right? Those Chaos Dominion teams. We can do it. It's gonna be tight though, and you're gonna have to play a lot of your arena matches manually because it's gonna come down to the wire. Especially some of these high BP teams, because they can. If they start stacking on you, these monsters, it's done. You're gonna lose Kagiri, you're gonna lose Sun Wukong, and you won't be able to keep up, right? So it's gonna be it's a very tedious task, but this is something that we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to push for Lady Alexandra, and it needs to start now. It's gonna be a long grind, and I'm hoping to get her by the end of the year. Because even if I get 1,000 coins a week, I get 400 from the reset, right? If I stay in Overlord, which you're going to have to do. You have to get to Overlord first. You have to get it early. Then you're going to have to start fighting. You only get 10 coins per thing, and I'm not in Apex, and I'll see. If I get to Apex, maybe you get more coins, right? It's going to be a grind! All right, so let's hop into the edit mode. So when you go in here, go to your defense teams, hit edit, and you can set up your own defense. I know, crickets. Bruh. But, so what I was saying, A3 Kagiri, I think, is going to be necessary. Here's my stats. That's how much HP I have. I did find the substats for it. I have at least a little over 60,000 KHP. A3 Kagiri is so important because that's how you're going to get the damage out in time to keep yourself from dying. You're DPSing, you're not trying to survive, right? The greatest form of crowd control is death. So let's hop into the edit mode. This was crazy. I was like, this is nice. However, the lower your BP is, the easier the enemies are going to be. Remember that, right? So I did mine at max BP, and it's going to be hard, but I just want to set up my team until round 5 to 6 because I'm going to take over manually anyway if I'm going to be pushing an arena, right? But combining our video knowledge that we have now, we've been educated a little bit more. Sun Wukong down first, and now we'll place Dao Chan, right? And I'm placing Dao Chan earlier because while I was in here, if you're going against high BP opponents, you might as well have Dao Chan out, right? Because look how long it took for Sun Wukong to even kill that enemy. Sun Wukong was about to die, so I might as well get some healing. I can get some more attacks. Round 2, use his ultimate right away. Boom. Doesn't even matter how much HP Sun Wukong has at that moment in time for round 2. Because he's just going to eliminate him, right? So now, once we get enough costs, after Dao Chan, we'll place Kagiri in front of Sun Wukong. So like I was saying, man, this BP gap, that's gonna be the game changer. But I'd rather do it at max hard level, at max difficulty, and then work around it later, right? And this also lets me know what rounds I can survive to, right, with this team setup. Because if my BP was lower, obviously I'll make it to 9 rounds. But my BP is over 500k, so it's just gonna be rough. And those are the teams I'll fight, or I'll fight 400 or less than 500k, right? So now we're waiting. When you get enough costs, Shadow, he placed down Elowen, right? But I like to save Elowen. I guess it doesn't matter. You can do either or. You can still get Ingrid out before round 5. If you need more damage earlier because you're fighting higher BP people, then go ahead and place down Ingrid, and then maybe she'll help you out a little bit more. But I don't think it necessarily matters. Ingrid, boom, we're placing her way up top, right? Now we're placing her up top, even closer to the portal, and then we'll place down Elowen last. Elowen will go down. Now, another argument I can see is if you're having a problem with rage regen. If you place down Elowen first, she's going to help your rage regen come back up for your ultimates, right? For your Sun Wukongs and your Kagiris, all that good stuff. But for me, this is how I'm gonna set it up, and I'm gonna rock this for a while. And hey guys, hopefully it helped you. But watchers in arena, we can do it. We gotta take down these Valderon teams. We gotta get Lady Alexandra, man. 30 weeks. That's what I'm estimating it's gonna take for me to get Lady Alexandra. 30 freaking weeks. Hopefully by the end of the year. That's if I'm getting 1,000 coins a week, man. Dang, the grind starts now. I'm going to do a 30-day challenge. I'm going to try to grind arena. I'm going to use all my arena tokens that I can for the next 30 days and see how many more Apex coins I can get, right? And I'll give you guys an update if you want to check in on that. But we're going to be grinding. All right, so we are at round 6 right now. And this is where I normally die in matches with this much BP, over 500k, right? And that's just something we're going to have to keep in mind. If you don't want to run into this problem, you can still set up your auto battles manually and it'll save. You just have to make sure you're selecting low BP opponents, right? And then hopefully you can crash your way through, right? But if we can get past round 6, then I'll go ahead and I'll save it. You could just quit at any time in here and it'll save up to the round that you lasted to, right? And if you can come back in later, and then you can try to figure out how to get to round 9 using your highest BP if you want. That's me. I like to bang my head against walls sometimes. I could just lower the BP and just easily do it. But hey, we gotta shoot for the top. To aim for the top, you gotta shoot for the top, I guess, right? Or to shoot at the top, you gotta aim for the top. Yeah, because you gotta aim to shoot. So that'll be first. Go aim and then shoot. However, that's complete. We're done. We set it up. What do we get? Round 7-ish. But if I fight anybody under 500k BP, it's going to be a walk in the park, right? That's what I'm saying. This team does work. It can work. Omni Arena is here. Watchers Arena. Hopefully in 30 days. So at the end of next month, we'll do like 40 days then. I'll see how many coins I have. I have 9,400 right now. So we'll see. The grind begins.